So I finally got more Copic markers. I kind of spent a lot of money. But this is the first ever creation with those markers, and the only other time that I had ever used Copics was in some random doodles in my watercolor sketchbook, just to mess around with them. If you value your markers, though, don't use watercolor paper. It's literally a sponge. It's made for soaking up stuff. That's what it does. It's watercolor paper, and also not very great for blending. In my experience. Don't be like me. Anyway, this is a recolor of my D&D character Timeless and her cute little pet pseudo-dragon Zippo. Enjoy what I managed to record because OBS lied to me and screwed up a good chunk of the process, which I wasn't very happy with. I wasn't very happy with OBS. I was happy with the process because, everything turned out okay, but OBS just said we're not going to record the right thing, so no. And now that portion of the video is just gone. Anyway, back in the day, I bought 5 Copic markers without any type of coupon. Past me was a crazy person. My collection started out with E11, E13, BV11, and BV13, and a colorless splendor. I figured a good start was 2 skin tones and 2 of my favorite colors. What I didn't take into consideration was paper, so I just kind of used them in small areas with my watercolor paper. Twice. I only used those markers twice. And then they sat in my organizer for 4 years, maybe longer. If anybody's wondering, I didn't use E11 and 13 in this picture, but I did use BV11 and BV13. And no, none of them were dried out. Which is pretty impressive to me, but I know it also kind of depends on the climate of your area, how you store them, where you store them, and a whole bunch of other factors. But just saying, 4+ years and they're all going strong, it's pretty impressive to me. Tangents aside, spent a lot of money recently because I wanted to actually try my hand at these markers. October was a rough month, and every now and again you have to remind yourself that you deserve nice stuff too, so I did what you normally do in those cases, and I kind of made my wallet cry a lot. I got markers and I got some paper, which the paper was a huge ordeal. Did a lot of research. Long story short, I'm using Hammermill Premium Color Copy Cover Cardstock. Very long name, but you can get it on Amazon and it's absolutely amazing. You can get 250 pieces of paper for around $20 or so. High quality, also prints really well too. So that is also a plus. And I went into this picture thinking that nothing would really turn out as I would want it to, because I've never worked with markers. The last time I used markers, I was 8 years old or something. And they were Crayola markers, so quality isn't as high as these ones. But I usually get really discouraged with new mediums because new things are kind of difficult. But as I was coloring the skin, I realized that it was very similar to 2 things. Surprisingly, well, not the first one wasn't so surprising. They're kind of similar to watercolors in how you can build up the color. You just wait for it to dry and then you take that same color and then you darken those areas. But what was surprising is it was very similar to how I work digitally. That didn't take long to click, and honestly, thank God for that, because you just gotta match colors, and as I said, you build up the colors like you do in watercolor, and then you blend the new colors out with the previous color if you want a softer look, which is what I do a lot digitally. So that was actually really surprising and really, really nice. I'm also really surprised with this paper because there wasn't any bleed through. On this picture in particular, another project that I worked on a little bit later on, there was a small bit of bleeding, but I put down like several layers of color, and that's not including the extra layer for blending it out. And the markers I used were pretty juicy too, so I still 14 layers of color is pretty impressive to me, especially with like this type of medium. 11 out of 10 paper. Would recommend. Would use again. Memes. Honestly though, I'm not gonna lie, I was really intimidated by these markers because they do cost so much, but I am so happy I was finally able to try them out. And to those who may be watching who have never used them, honestly, you just gotta take the first steps. Don't go all out like I did. I would honestly just kind of get a couple colors that you can blend and stuff like that and just kind of do black and white. Honestly, the first set I would recommend anybody get would be grays, because you can do a lot with grays because you can just do some grayscale pictures and practice them that way. They work the exact same way as colored ones would. So that's my recommendation. But that's all I have for you for this video. I'm probably just gonna leave you guys here with some music. Thank you all so much for watching and listening to me ramble about these markers. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and comment down below. It really helps me out. And if you want to see more videos from me, then gently caress that subscribe button and the bell if you want to stay up to date on all of my uploads. And I'll see you all in the next one. I'm just gonna end this here because I can't talk today. It's not working. Okay, bye.
Still as a breeze, a river flowing deep. Don't wanna leave the air you breathe. Living me dreams when I think of you and me. Don't wanna leave listen to the sound. To